She entered the courtroom like a performer stepping onto a stage, one hand resting on her pregnant belly, lips painted a shade bolder than usual, chin tilted upward in false confidence. Her attorney followed closely behind, postured like a bodyguard. My own lawyer didn't bother to rise. He knew this wasn't about showmanship. But I watched her carefully, every step she took, every breath, every calculated blink of her mascaraed lashes as she feigned surprise at finding me already seated. She craved the spotlight. Always had. And now, pregnancy was her newest prop. The judge glanced at her stomach, then shifted his eyes to me, eyebrows slightly raised. He said nothing. I held his gaze, unmoved. Her attorney leaned over to whisper something in her ear. She responded with a laugh, too loud, too forced, like she believed sound could smother guilt. But it couldn't. Not this time. For months, a storm had been quietly gathering behind my eyes. I'd stayed calm, observant, patient. But today? Today, I let it break. 6 months ago, she told me she needed space. I knew what that really meant. It's never about space. It's about someone else. Someone new. Another man's scent, another man's promises. But I didn't argue. I told her she could go. A week later, a mutual friend sent me a photo. She was in a hotel lobby in Dubai, definitely not alone. A man had his hand placed intimately on her back. The way her eyes looked at him, that softness? I hadn't seen that in a long time. I sat in the dark that night, staring at the image until my phone screen dimmed and shut off on its own. That's when it hit me, she wasn't coming back. Not really. She wasn't just visiting someone else's world, she was rebuilding her own on the wreckage of mine. Still, I didn't confront her. I waited. Watched. Collected evidence. 3 weeks later, she called. I'm pregnant, she said. I congratulated her, paused, then asked, is it mine? A beat of silence. Just a split-second pause. But it was enough. Then she laughed, too brightly. Of course it's yours. Who else would it be? I didn't respond. I let the silence hang in the air, long and heavy, until she ended the call. That night, I accessed the shared laptop. She'd never logged out. Rookie mistake. Her digital pharmacy receipts showed she'd started taking folic acid 2 months before she told me she needed space. The math didn't work. I dug deeper. Her GPS history, still logged in. Her car had been parked outside his building 3 nights a week, for months. Way before the so-called break. I reached out to a private lab. Sent in her toothbrush, the one she used during her last visit when she said she wanted to co-parent. She had no idea I'd kept her glass. Or that I'd pulled a strand of hair from her sweater. A week later, the lab called. They needed a sample from the alleged father too. I already had his name, from her WhatsApp backup. She'd deleted the chat, but not the cloud. I found him on Facebook. Messaged him while posing as someone from an insurance company verifying paternity eligibility. He foolishly gave me his full name and birth date. That's all I needed to falsify the request. I mailed everything in. Then, I waited. The results arrived in a plain white envelope. No headlines. Just numbers and truth printed in clinical black ink, 0% probability of paternity. I didn't react. No rage. No sadness. Just cold validation. I didn't call her. Didn't message her. Just filed the document neatly into a folder labeled Exhibit D. The court date was already on the calendar. She believed her pregnancy would win her everything, my house, my car, even a cut of my pension. She thought it would make her look vulnerable and me like the heartless villain. But the judge was sharp. 10 minutes into the session, he asked, Mr. Rafi, are you prepared to provide financial support for the unborn child? I didn't glance in her direction. I reached into my folder. Your Honor, I said, I have documentation that may clarify the matter. He read the report. Once. Then again, slower. Then looked at her. Her lips parted. No sound. There was no outburst. No dramatic reveal. Just silence, thick and final, as the narrative she'd carefully crafted crumbled. She looked at me like she didn't recognize who I was. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I'd become something new. Someone forged from the broken pieces she left behind, colder, sharper. She began, but her voice cracked. She couldn't finish. The judge cut in. Ma'am, do you dispute these findings? She didn't move. Her lawyer's face turned pale. He looked like he wanted to disappear. I leaned forward just enough for only her to hear. You should have cleared the cloud, I said. That was the moment her expression shattered, not with anger or shame, but fear. Real fear. Because she didn't just lose a case, she lost control. After the hearing, she called after me. Just my name. I didn't stop. Didn't turn. The air outside was thick, humid with the scent of a storm that hadn't broken yet. I got into my car, shut the door, and sat in stillness. No smile. No satisfaction. Just peace. She thought carrying a child would make her untouchable. That I'd be guilt-trapped into giving her the world, like I used to. But truth doesn't plead. It doesn't perform. It arrives, unannounced, unstoppable. And it never knocks twice.